keep California cowgirls from vanishing.
Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Jumping at liberty to music, making our Morgan horses our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles area. Semi on the big steps. Morgan horse Sadie doing obstacles rainlessly.
Semi drives a cart. Sadie pulls a log. Sadie learns to pull a cart. Miniature zebu heifer Susie learns to drive a cart. Bull Rusty learns to pull a harrow. Here are clips of the progress we have made in getting Morgan mare Semi to be stress-free when crossing within vinyl jump standards and over styrene rails.
We're doing some more work with Semi on jumping over the vinyl jumps and walking between the vinyl jump standards, stepping over the styrene pipe rails. Today is a continuation of a session that we had a few days ago where we didn't even have the camera on. And Semi had a little bit of resistance, a little bit of stress. We had to go back into the arena and then come back out here on my driveway track and do it. And once she got over her concerns, she was just fine. And it took her less time to get over her concerns this time than last time. Another technique that we're using today for Semi is we have Sadie saddled today. Alexis is on top of Sadie. Now Sadie doesn't seem to mind the vinyl jumps at all, even though she's the younger of all the horses. But we're going to let Semi watch Sadie jump over the vinyl jumps and the styrene rails. You can see that Sadie has no concern about these objects being spooky. Semi is doing all of those things that a relaxed horse does, and she is watching. She's blowing out, she's licking her lips. Oh, good. And Sadie didn't even blink an eye. Semi ready to get her mindset ready to go over the white vinyl jump on the east-west track. We brought her into the arena here, and as you can see, she's just fine on joining up with Alexis with the white vinyl jump right here in the center of the arena. Well then, maybe today, maybe another day, put on her halter and lead rope and see if she'll go over that jump, which she did for me the other day after a little bit of work ahead of time to remind her that it's not a spooky object, and then move out to the east-west track, and we'll show you each step of the way. All right, now we have a lead rope on Semi. She's been having a very nice session with Alexis in the arena. Let's see what she says about us asking her to go over the jump. No problem. Little bit of repetition and make sure we do it in both directions. Good, very nice. Notice we have the short standards here in the arena so that we don't accidentally knock them over, yet you still have to think about it as the handler of the lead rope. Get your hand up when that horse goes over, because it's a little bit spooky to have those standards fall over if they're going over. Step over. Will she go? If she gives you any resistance, just hold. Don't pull, just hold until she gives you a step forward to show you that she's willing to step over. And that's what she just did. Now she touched the wooden log that's the rail. Let's see if that scared her. Nah, she said, okay, I'm all right on it. Let her investigate. That's good. That's great. Investigation is so good. All right. I think it's time to move out to the east-west track. How about you? Or do you want to stop on a good note?
I'd like to get her walking over it every time.
Oh, walking over it and not jumping over it? Okay. Alexis wants to work with her a little more in the arena here so that Semi walks over it. Which, by the way, on the east-west track, the other day when I didn't have the camera on, I finally got Semi to do it. It took about 15-20 minutes. So I'll turn the camera back on when we've got her walking over it. Okay, we've been working about 10 minutes here in the arena, and we have Semi's compliance, but not her stress-free compliance. The way we'll know we've got that is when she's willing to just walk over that very low first cop jump. And so far she's still scurrying over it, jumping over it, resisting. There you go. See, there's no reason for her to have to jump, but it's still an obstacle in her mind. At least that's the way we're perceiving the jump rather than the step over. And so we don't feel that it's time yet to go out to the east-west track and try it over there. We're going to do it here in the confines of the arena. And eventually show you our progress and tell you how long it took. And this is what we're doing. This is the exercise. If she resists, we hold. We don't pull back. We just hold until we get some indication from her, a step forward, a softening of a muscle, a release of her head, that she's willing to give a little bit. And then we ask again. And you see, this is frustration. She's not really investigating. She's just rather frustrating. So we're being patient. We're being patient with her frustration. But we certainly will not stop on that note. We're just waiting. Waiting for her to give us focus. Now she's pawing with the other front leg. She'd like to win this battle, but we're going to be patient until we get her trust and confidence, and then ultimately respect. Good. She gets reward. She stopped. Finally she stopped, and that's the name of the game in training. Be patient till you get the right answer. Use your arm extensions, use your lead lines, use your tools, and keep asking for the right answer. Still a jump. Okay, we're going to keep working on it, but we're going to turn the camera off, and when we turn it back on, we'll let you know, either by showing you or telling you how long it took. or whether or not we actually haven't gotten it yet. Because it's a matter of safety. In the arena, it's a little safer if she broadnecks or pulls away from us. On the driveway track, although we are completely enclosed by fencing, there's more space for her to run to. A little bit harder for us to catch her if she does pull out of our hands. So we start small, we make small step progress, and we get bigger and bigger in advances until we get the right answer to the objective. Be big when you need to be big. We're not pulling on her, but we are giving her cues.
She would run me over, I know.
She would actually run Alexis over, is what Alexis feels, unless Alexis gets real big.
It's clear that she can't be in my space.
She has to get real big at the right time and make it very clear that Semi can't be in her space. And you know, a horse running over a human, even when you're walking down the driveway with a lead rope, if something were to scare them, it's their nature to flee. And so I'm always careful not to be in front of them, no matter how relaxed they seem. I always want to be aside of them, and I never want them in my space. Clinton Anderson calls it the hula hoop space. The size of a hula hoop. Okay, this is the exercise that we're using to get Semi to be very calm and walk over between those two vinyl jump standards. So the next time we turn on the camera, I hope we'll be able to show it to you. And still not today. Now you see, you could call that a right answer, but because our request is do it calmly, it's not the right answer. It's a rainy day, and this is Semi getting accustomed to walking over the styrene rails between the vinyl jump standards. We're using a lunge whip as an arm extension. You can see that she's not jumping, but she's still not just calmly walking over. Let's see if we do it for a few minutes, and then watch this technique. She is resisting, so we're not pulling, we're just holding. Hold, hold, hold. Give her a chance to show us she's willing to give ever so slightly. Then, yes, then we have a slight bit of slack. We take the pressure off. We have to be really careful here. Aha! She stepped on the styrene rail. It is wood-filled, so it didn't bounce up after her. But okay, you can see that we need to make better progress here on just stepping over the styrene rail to show us that she's not afraid. Now, having stepped on the rail, will she give us more trouble? Look at her body language. She's getting real tight in her chin. I've learned to watch not only their ears, not only their neck, not only their eyeballs, but their chin. It tells me a lot about what they're saying. Now, if they're licking their lips, for example, but still moving their feet when they're not supposed to be moving their feet, that's not enough of a right answer. We need to decide each time we're training something, each time we get resistance, what is an acceptable right answer, and we need to keep working towards it. Now you see we had to take her away from what scared her, these vinyl jumps, and she's doing a nice, slow walking lunge. Anybody can do this. You don't need a big space. You just need patience. Still not acceptable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off and turn it back on again, give you an update. after we've done some repetition. Okay, we've been working about 10 minutes. We feel that we've made progress, but still not completely the right answer. We're showing you a progress report. She can do even much better than that. She did a few minutes ago, but she's not consistent yet. You see, that's what we're dealing with. The ever-present fears that are still buried in her equine mind. The lack of confidence that she's showing. The lack of confidence in us. Ken McNabb said he doesn't desensitize horses. What he does is he builds their confidence so that they no longer will do what nature has told them to do when they're afraid. And I don't care what vocab you use, I base my progress in training, my Morgans and mini cows, on results. So are we desensitizing her to this obstacle? Yes, by some trainers' vocab. Are we getting the results we want? Not completely. By any trainer's standards, but we feel we're making progress. And we're going to show you bits and pieces here so that you don't get bored, but so you understand how much patience it takes and how important it is to do small steps and to release pressure at the right moment so that the horse understands that the right answer, the correct answer, is being given. We took her away from this jump obstacle. At some point, very soon, I believe Alexis will bring her back to this jump obstacle, which is an obstacle only because that is the way Shadrach Triton Semi perceives it at this time. And now she's stopping even farther back. Now she stopped again. Let's see what she says about moving on. And you see I have here a lunge whip that I could use to apply some pressure, but we're trying to do this patiently with as little pressure as possible. Some trainers call it progressive desensitization. And then there's a point at which you have to choose to stop, and you need to make it at a point when you're getting a right answer of sorts. We don't stop with the wrong answer. But sometimes we go back to something we know they can do and then stop and then continue again at the next session. And Clinton Anderson was just showing how he was desensitizing his young horse to the clippers. He said that many people make the mistake of trying to clip completely in one session. He says what he does is he begins the desensitization process, goes and does something else, continues the desensitization process 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a session. Then he does it 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. And he says, by the end of the week, he's got the horse willing to be clipped. You're seeing a rather long session within a session, but that's okay. That's because Alexis is not feeling, nor are we seeing body language that says from Semi, I'm ready to go. As a matter of fact, she's doing just the opposite, even more vehemently than she was a little while ago. See that resistance? I know there's some panels in the way. Pardon me? Yeah, she wants to use the driving whip. It's a longer arm extension. And notice that we took the bridle off. When we realized we weren't going to get the correct answer right away, we didn't want that extra piece of equipment on her. It wasn't necessary for the task at hand. We have the saddle on because we had hoped to move on to a different task today, and that is some more practice following moving objects. In particular, we have a motor cow, we call it, here in the square pen that runs along the ceiling and gives the horse something moving to follow. But if we don't get to that today, that's okay. Watch for it in another show and see it in past shows. Now Alexis is getting a little firmer with her requests. And Sammy is getting a little firmer with her resistance. Here I was just going to show you a short clip, but I feel that this is very educational for anybody who wants to train their horse to approach an obstacle which causes them stress. Semi is licking her lips, but you can see she's not giving forward motion. This is a relatively safe place to do this kind of task. We've got panels, we've got walls, we've got closed doors, we've got sand. There's footing in the arena. She's licking her lips. It's a good sign. She's giving forward motion. That's a good sign. Her ears are back. Her head is down. She's moving her forequarters or hindquarters at request. And now Alexis is going next to, but not through, not yet. Let's see when she decides to do it. We're going around the obstacle. She got a good stop. She's petting her, giving her reward. And now she's going to try it. Is semi-willing. It looked for a second like she would be. Hold, hold, hold. And then, yeah, if she pulls back like that, hold. Don't give her release, but don't pull back any more in your direction. Just hold as best you can. There is definitely a standoff here. There, she gave you forward motion. That's very good. Then you immediately let the lead rope get slack. Okay, now she's giving that chin resistance. I hope I can show you that. That chin resistance, you can see it, besides the fact that there, good. Ever so slight the right answer, and you release pressure. Then you ask for a little bit more. Good, good. Yes, very nice. One small step at a time, literally here. Yes, yes, and we are getting licking of the lips, not tight chin. But now tight chin, but another step forward. You see, Semi is trying. She's looking at it. She's actually, from my perception, resisting her natural inclination, which is to flee. And I think that's out of respect. Good, Sam, look how close she is. Yes, she's thinking about it. Look, let her investigate. Beautiful, beautiful investigation. Just a little bit of a request to step forward and then hold. Let's see if Semi gives us that next step. I wouldn't pull any harder than that. Good, good, just that Slight leaning forward is good. When she slightly leans forward, release the tautness of the lead rope. Good. 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 Good, Sam. Now, there's standoff again. Hold, but don't pull. Don't pull towards you any more than you are now. Let's wait for her to give us one slight, ever so slight, the right answer. And you see Alexis is using the arm extension from where she is as best she can. I'm going to leave the camera here on the scene. I'm going to try to very quietly approach from the side. Nope. She saw me coming, and she said, I'm out of here. Okay, so now I'm going to stay on this side, still leave the camera on the scene. When we get closer again, I'm going to see if I can very quietly approach from the side to ask for the right answer. A answer, but not a correct answer. Still too fast. But let's do it from the other direction. And
you should quit here?
I would say go from the other direction because she did resist you, and she pulled back when I came towards her. Let's give her a little firmer request. Yes, let her investigate. Good. Okay, so we are quitting here, not because we got completely the right answer, but because we noticed that Semi was getting more and more resistant rather than getting more and more compliant. So we feel it's appropriate to accept those 2 step overs that were, in some respects, rushing step overs, to accept them as good enough for today. And however many shows it will take us, we will show you our persistent progress in getting Semi to no longer fear these final jump standards. Thank you, Alexis, and thank you, Semi.
Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Semi, Rusty and Susie, Heifer Calf Sela. For more information, www.cowgirlchannel.com.